Hello and welcome to In the News Series 2 episode, I think it's either 4 or 5, I think it's 5. This week, got a few rounds to, have a laugh at the recent jokes and, So let's crack on with round 1.
What does EDAR stand for? Is it England Daily Arrests Rapists? Or is it Everybody Called David are Ransom? Is it England Desires at Rugby? Or does EDAR make an actual word which is going to be named for a cheese? Unfortunately, I was wrong. England draws against Russia.
Yes, last weekend marked the opening of the Euro 2016, where England played Russia on the second game. They scored in, I think, the 80-something minute, so England were 1-up in 90 minutes and 2 minutes of injury time. Russia got back and got the equaliser. Our next game is against, I don't know, because I'm not a massive football fan. So yeah, I suppose we're playing again.
What does this picture mean? Is it Chris Evans's wild drinking session after ratings of Top Gear goes down even more?
And for once, I'm correct. Yes, this week, however you want to put it, Chris Evans was spotted in the street drinking wine on his phone the day after Top Gear's ratings went down by the 1.5 million, and this week they went down to 2.4 million, so they lost out on 0.4 of another million. So Chris Evans is going really well with this malarkey, and even his ex-wife has said he's not going to watch Chris's version because he thinks he's a prick and would rather watch Clarkson's version. His ex-wife needs a high five.
What does this picture represent? Is Boris pointing over at Chris Evans drinking in the street and laughing? Or has he just witnessed David Cameron sticking his cock in yet another dead pig's mouth? Or is he thinking to himself, what a wanker the new mayor is? Unfortunately, I was wrong. Its Brexit campaign takes lead with just over a week to go.
Yes, there's a week to go until the EU referendum final. It's vote day next week. And Brexit, which stands for Britain Exit, which is the Leave campaign for leaving the EU, has taken the lead, which means Boris Johnson, Nigel Farage and all the Leave campaigners know what they're talking about. David Cameron and all the others that don't even have names because they're not important enough know nothing about what's right. So, well done Farage, and well done Boris. Now, some people may disagree with me. I know, Dominic, if you're watching, you disagree with me. But there's pros and cons for leaving and pros and cons for staying. And next week, I will be going through all of them. Not on here, in a project. Not for here. Somewhere else. I might do it here. I'm rambling on again. Yeah, next one I suppose.
If 50 is the answer, what could be the question? Is it how many people in the United Kingdom are voting stay in the EU? Or is it, with the viewings going down each week for new Top Gear, on the last episode, how many people will be watching? Or is it, in the time that Jeremy Clarkson was working for the BBC, how many times did he get his first warning because the BBC couldn't let him go because all the ratings would go down? Or is it, how many people are looking forward to the new Max Gear hosted by me, Jake Moyes, what's Ben's last name? Ben Nichols, Jack Pritchard, Luke Hambling, Kyle Howes and Sammy Smith. Nope, I thought not. The answer is 50 dead in the Orlando disaster.
Unfortunately, this week there was another terror attack in Orlando in a gay club. So my thoughts and regards and sincere condolences go to families and friends of the victims in the attack. It's a very hard time for these people. So, yeah. Very sorry to hear. And that's all we've got time for this week. We've talked about the EU referendum, the Leave campaign coming first at the minute. We've talked about Chris Evans' new look after the ratings of new Top Gear. We've also talked about England drawing with Russia and the crisis in Orlando. So, until next week, I shall see you, well, obviously next week. Have a nice week. Try not to get into trouble. You know, Bobby's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Ta-da. And don't forget, new Max Gear coming soon with new hosts.
In the news